Welcome to part 2 of the $2,000 Article 1 build. But before I get into that, there was something in my review of the Article 1 that I really wanted to have, but it was just going to be quite expensive to import it, like $60 to $80 shipping on a $25 part. Yeah, not happening. But Power 6 got a couple in. That's right, boys! Look at that. It's the tech mat from Heretic Labs. It's a tech mat only a mother could love. This thing, it's a bit ugly, but its beauty is in its ugliness, and that is something very poetic. This thing is awesome. I really wanted this. I think it's amazing. This is going to be my mouse mat. Maybe it will become just a standard tech mat for my reviews. I'm not sure yet, but this thing is sweet. So let's get into that overhead camera. Let's see how I built this bad boy. So in my parts list, I didn't actually talk about this. This is the reg that we're going to be using. This is the Wolverine Storm, the old one. I'm going with this one because it's red mainly. I do have a Cat 5 that I could have used for this build, but you know, the theme is red and silver, so let's throw in some little bit more red. You won't see too much of it. This was taken apart and serviced, so it is a pain to get off the QD and the gauge. So take out the internals, like remove the 3 screws, pull it out, heat it up to kind of soften the glue, and then you can easily open it. I already have the proper fitting inside, the proper spacer that you need for the Storm. We just need to get this little back piece on, so we just need to check how far we need to stick out. So put it on. There's a little retention grub screw that we need to screw on, but we need to first see how much space to get it nice and flush. But yeah, that's what it looks like now. So you'll see a little bit of the red on the front, got the red on the back, which is really nice, and then the custom laser engraving that the boys at Gorilla did for me. I love it. It looks really nice. But we still need to finish it, so we need our screws for it.
A few moments later.
There we go, found it. So I've got the gauge. The gauge is going to go in the bottom, but we're going to first put in the fitting through the top, because it's going to be much easier. Let's see if I got the right hex key for this. Yep. So it's pretty simple. Just pop it in, and then from the bottom you're gonna just turn it. But first, let's yeah, it's actually got a seal on it already. So we can install it. With the gauge, we're gonna have to put a little bit of plumber's tape on it, some PTFE tape on, to get it to not leak. There we go. That's pretty sweet. Looks pretty good. So that's for the hose. That reminds me, I do have a pre-cut hose already that I had for another build. I will have to just grab that. But let's just continue with the grip. A little bit of PTFE tape. Make sure that this doesn't leak, because that would be really shitty. So that's plenty. Oh, really nicely done. We're gonna need a wrench. A trusty wrench here. Ooh, I don't want to scratch it. Hold on. So just quickly grab some painter's tape, some masking tape. I don't want this wrench scratching this really nice paintwork that they did. This is Cerakote, so it's not anodized. The AG versions do come with anodized ones, but I think they're moving over to Cerakote. That's what they said to me. I think the Cerakote came out really nice. So that should, maybe just do one more little piece to protect it. You know, might get scratched on the field, but I'd prefer if it didn't get scratched here while we're building it. Not the best wrench for this. But it's getting the job done. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So that is the reg installed. It's not that much heavier than the Article 1 grip. It is full aluminium, so CNC aluminium. It does add a little bit more weight. We're at 256 grams with this setup as it is now, which I think is all right. I don't think it's too much more than the stock one. I'll put up the figure for the stock one on the screen. I don't remember what it is. I remember weighing it. So here, while I got the masking tape, I also got the hose that I need, because I don't want to cut the one that comes with the Article 1. I'm use it for something else. Maybe I'll need it one day. Who knows? One of my other lines might blow or break or something. But that's a story for another day. So we're gonna use this one that I already have. And taking apart the Article 1 is super easy. Basically just pop one pin, pop the rear pin, and you can just take the whole thing apart.
2,000 years later.
The hose and the cable for the battery both go in through the grip. It's a bit of a pain to kind of remove it. Ooh, making way too much noise. But yeah, so you just need to like work its way through. We're of course gonna get rid of this board. We have a Gorilla board that's going in here, and that's going to be just far better than this. Just so much nicer. But let's get to the next step, which is let's change out the barrel, the bucking, the Hopup unit, and the nozzle. So taking apart Article 1 is super easy. Just pop this off, bring it a little bit back, and then you can remove the cable. Then push it forward a little bit, and then you can remove this. We're gonna be doing this one in red. I showed in the parts list, I showed some custom cable sleeving for PCs. We're gonna do this red. Gonna be a nice little red accent in the back with our Italian red. Then to get out the engine, this part, if you're new to mMTWs, to the Article 1, this is gonna sound a little crazy to you, but just put it in and yank it out like that. This hose is super strong. You're not gonna break it in any way. It's the same way as the Wolverine guys show how to do it. I've done it to my billet, which is like 2 years old now, at least like 10, 15, 20 times, doing some serious mudding to that. So we're gonna take out this engine. We're gonna have to take this off just now. So we'll do that next, but let's first get the Hopup unit and the bucking. So this and the barrel. So this is the standard Hopup unit, plastic fantastic. It works. It's pretty decent. Like, you can run this outdoors really nicely and have a lot of fun. Definitely works indoors super well. It's fine, shoots out of the box, but we're pushing performance here. We want something a little bit better. So we're not even going to take it apart. I don't know why I was going to start that, but we do need the spring. So we're going to put that aside. We don't need that whatsoever anymore. We need the nozzle. Then we're going to take buckings, and we want the Hopup unit. So this is Silent Industries. They're in Europe. They make absolutely fantastic Hopup units. This is the Alpha. It's for the mMTW platform. They did show now at EVA. They showed the new one for AEGs. I'm super happy with these. This is my 4th one. I have one gun that was running the max for a little bit, but I'm not sure. Like the max is good. It's a good improvement over the stock one, but this one is just a lot better. Here are the rest of the parts that we need for it. We're going to be using the nub that they recommend on their store. So I've got the nub too, and then we are going to use, I've got to remember now which one is which ring. So there are these rings that fit around the Hopup backing. We need that too. We're going to need this nub. Somewhere we can see it. So there's different rings that fit over the Hopup backing. So we're going to take this one. This is a 70-degree MHP from Bugatti, and you can see it fits over the lips here. And I think we're gonna go for the white one. I think it's the less tight of the two. So you can see steel barrel, very nicely cut and finished. I wish I had a lathe, then I could do stuff like this myself, but I don't have a lathe. I was thinking about one of those little Proxxon lathes, tiny little one for the table, do some cutting, do something, but I don't know if I would use it that often, so I don't know how good of an investment that would be. That would just take up space in my cupboard or in my basement, where I don't have that much space anyway. But yeah, so barrel's on, bucking's on. Let's lock this bad boy up. Yep, satisfying click of it locking in place. Then of course we need the nub. This is the nub from Silent Industries. I've got it in my other guns and it works great. So let's just get that on like that. Do some aerobics to get it lined up. Yeah. There you go. And, great. Good job, Max. So let's get the nub out again. We forgot our ring.
What an idiot!
So take off the C-clip. Redo the backing, because it might have shifted now when we removed it, because I'm an idiot. There you go. We're gonna go with the white one. I can't remember if it's a tighter one, or the more loose one, but I use it on all of my other ones, so it's just what I'm gonna go with here. So now we can redo that entire thing again. Get the C-clip, satisfying click, and it's locked in place. Locks much better than some of the other ones. Let's do this process again. So there we go. Let's get our wheel on, and yeah, that's looking pretty good. This barrel might be a little bit bigger than I have on the other ones, because pretty sure that I've got this on my other ones. Yeah, we'll just leave that. I don't need that. So of course, spring back on. Comes in from the back.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's already looking pretty good. Then this next part, let me grab pliers. There we go. So just be careful not to scratch the anodizing. We're just going to take that off because we're going to want to keep that. We're not getting rid of that. Just lock it up nicely. And then this part, there was some of the what am I talking about? There were some of these engines, so the Inferno engines, the Gen 2 engines, where they literally glued these in place. Bit of a pain to take apart the nozzle. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a key, a hex key, it's an Allen key. I think it's one of these. I think it's this one. Yep. And we're going to need some pliers. So it's good to see that these aren't glued anymore. So as you can see, brand new nozzle, never really seen a BB at all, but we're going to be replacing it anyway. We got this. So this is the Silent Industry nozzle. I'm super happy with the previous generation of it. These work really, really well. So we're going to be using the same kind of ones here. Well, just the newer version of it. Nope, they have glued it. So let's just get that out quickly. Nothing at all. Scalpel can't fix. I'm going to quickly heat up the glue and get it out because it's just going to damage it. So
A few moments later.
So I took off the O-ring here, little ring, and just used a heat gun to just remove most of the glue because the glue was definitely getting in the way. We don't need it because here we're going to have an O-ring anyway. So let's get some of my super old hater sauce. This is like a super old product. If you're from paintball, you'll be familiar with this. This is like 10 years old, but it doesn't really expire. So a little bit of hater sauce on here. Make that ring. Make sure it doesn't dry out. And now we can try to do this again. So. There we go. There's the new nozzle. Slightly scratched. That was my fault there. Fucking being stupid with the pliers. Not removing the glue beforehand. So let's just get the rest sorted here. So let's put this back together. Firing. Got a little bit of lube on here so that it fits nicely. And of course, the spring on. Nice. Any grease on the nozzle, so just clean the nozzle. But there we go. That's basically it. Now we got the new nozzle in. We got the new Hopup unit in. We can then proceed to slide this in. You can see a much tighter fit onto the engine, which is one of the benefits. You get a much better seal, so probably increase the FPS a little bit here too. So we've got anyway with the new Hopup unit, new bucking, and with the new barrel, we'll probably see a spike. Oh, not a spike, just a higher FPS / joule. If I'm going to play this outdoors, at least I can get probably like 1.7, 1.8 maybe. 1.8 might be a bit optimistic. Same process here. Get the hose through. So I'm quickly going to go and do this. This is going to be in red, a little bit of detail. It's going to be really nice. So it's a new day here. I ran into some issues yesterday when I was putting together this gun. So I did complete the build, but I used then the old FCU. So this is the trigger board, this is the FCU, quite a lot larger. Also doesn't have the magnetic function because my mFCU, the mMTW version of it, just wasn't connecting, so my app was just crashing. Got that sorted. Quick message to the guys from Gorilla.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Straight away got me a solution, and now it's working perfectly again. So we're going to be putting this board in, which I initially wanted to add in, and wanted to add this trigger. So for the old board, I created a kind of like just a front pin lock, because with this Airsoft Technologies one, they want O-rings, which I've done before, mod like that. It's really a pain in the ass. And for the original trigger and the mMTW trigger from Max, you use the spring to lock the pin in place, but I don't want that. So I've created this. It's just a little locking thing with a spring. It's designed for the new board because you have some components in here, so you can't just slide in this little lock piece, because you're going to either break something off the board or you're going to damage the board. So this is the new one. I think the old one is lying somewhere around here. This is the old one. Prototype, like this would just slide in from the top and lock in place. Don't have that option there. So I created a new one. But also I've already stripped it. As you can see, I took the grip off again because I filmed all the stuff last night. And it looks really good. I like the way that it's looking already. And we're going to continue. So I created this little tool. It's just to help remove this, because it doesn't have a screw. You need a wind up properly. You can do it two ways. You can either put pressure on the desk, or you can do it like this. So there you go. Add pressure, and then you can unscrew it. Super simple. There you go. That just pops right out. So for the mag catch, we've gone for this. It's a Strike Industries real steel mag catch. AG ones will not fit in this gun, so you have to buy one for either gas blowback or for real steel. The real steel ones are probably a bit nicer, so got a proper one here. So let's just get that thread started like that. Same process. And use our little tool here. I'm just going to do it on the desk. Maybe a lot easier. There you go. There we go. One last rotation. No, too far. There we go. And that's it. Nice new Strike Industries. Much nicer. You can see here it's nicely milled. That's the original one. They're very flat. This one more contoured. Looks a little bit sleek, a little bit nicer. And for like 35 euros, easy little win when it visually looks a little bit nicer. You know, we've got the red now, adding to our red and black and silver theme. Get that tape off, then we can continue with the board. So we're gonna need some other little pieces. So we need this. This is for the wire selector. So this comes on here. You can see. So this needs to come on here. We're gonna, of course, put it in. We have to put it in when it's in the gun, or else we're not going to get it through. But this is just so that we can then tell the board what positions we're in: safe, semi, and auto. In this case, it's just semi for me. Every time. There we go. Let's try that again. So we can continue. So we're going to put the board in. Actually, we can put the trigger in first. I think that's going to be a little bit easier than for the installation. So this is the Airsoft Technologies trigger. As you can see here are the O-rings that you're meant to use for the front pin. We're not going to use those. We're going to use this little piece that I've designed. It's just a little bit easier and it's going to be better for the overall installation. So let's get our trigger. You can see here we got a much softer spring than the spring that you typically find on the Article 1s. That's going to give us a very, very light trigger pull. And then we've got a spring on the side that is going to make sure that the trigger actually sits properly. And that it also doesn't drift away from the magnets. Because if it drifts away from the magnets, you're of course going to have issues where it's just not going to shoot because it's not going to work. So that's been addressed here by Mac Airsoft and by Gorilla. And that is going to work really nicely. So let's get this bad boy in. Takes a little bit of gentle persuasion to get in, because we don't want to lose our trigger spring in the front. So there we go. Let's get that in. So that is now in. Yeah, that's nice. So we can pull it all the way through already, because on the older version of the mMTW board from Gorilla, it wasn't a complete cutout, it was just literally a hole. So you had to keep it halfway kind of in the trigger, and then once you put the board in, you could push it all the way through. The new one has a full cutout, kind of like what you see on the original mMTW Spartan board. Board's in. Let's get that out of the way. And then now we can install our little piece here. So, let's take the board out first. I just realized something. It's going to be a lot easier if we install it differently. So, got our spring on here. Put this in. So, we're going to put the front one on already so that we can pull it back and get the board in. That's going to be a lot easier. So let's do that again. And almost need like a third hand here for this now. But
a few moments later.
There we go. Look at that. Perfect. I'm not going to do it too tight. It is a 3D printed part, so the threading is not exactly meant for that, but can then readjust that one so that's flush. And there we go. That's the trigger installed. Took a little bit longer, a little bit of remodding and stuff, but yeah, it's installed now. So let's get that out of the way. We're now put on the grip because safety here is like flopping around. So spring in here, put back the plunger into the body. No, the plunger, the pin. There you go. Easy peasy. I do not have an imperial key in that size. So we're gonna have to kind of do it. I prefer to have it a little bit tighter, but I can't really get in there. I don't have an imperial key that size, but that shouldn't be going anywhere. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Look at that. Our safety works again. Got the sweet new mag catch in it. This trigger is so nice. I really like the look of it. If it was in red, it would be even sweeter, but that's not a problem. So let's get our cable in, pull through, and then we're gonna put everything together because we need to set the board properly. Disconnect. Let's have a look. So, safe, we're good. Awesome. That works really, really nicely. So much space now on the grip.
Give us so much extra space in our room to do activity.
Now that I've taken the other FCU out, we have a lot of space. So let's unplug this so that we can continue the build. This we can close. Thanks Pixel Watch for making my life a little bit more difficult. Just gonna grab some pliers. And we're just gonna get the tube into the fitting. So now we also have a lot more space in our grip. We can plug this in. Close that bad boy up. Look at that. How nice does that look? So we have one final thing to add, and that is this, the Biofrost from Acetech. This is the one that does RGB, so we're going to be shooting rainbows with this. So let's get rid of our little silver cap here. And we're going to add an O-ring. That's just going to help the tracer to not like screw up by itself when you're shooting or moving. And it does happen, just adds a little bit of pressure. So and there we go. That is the build. How sexy is that? Oh, let's put the pin in. So that was the building of the Article 1, the $2,000 Article 1. Whew, almost fucked that one up. But yeah, that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing it with a couple of other kind of guns, also a couple of engines. I'm going to be doing that Pulsar D very soon. I've had that thing since December and I'm just haven't installed it anyway. I will put it, I've got a build for it already. Everything's already here. I just actually need to build it. So that was it. This is a really nice gun. Definitely beautiful gun. Definitely not cheap, especially because, yeah, I gotta pay all this shit. So like and subscribe, let's grow this channel. Maybe one day we'll become something a little bit bigger and I won't have to dig deep in those pockets. But it was fun. I really like this gun. I've played with it twice now. It shoots bitches all day long, just like my orange one. These guns are awesome. So if you want one, check them out. They've got the pure black one now. So 100% black, comes with a Picatinny mount on the back so you can put on a stock. Yeah, these things are sweet. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll check you in the next one.